everyone. I'm Vicki. I am here to share a little bit of truth about me. Um, you will have been noticing on my Instagram it's mostly YouTube and video blogs because I can't share where I'm actually at the moment. It's just too hard. So now I'm doing this video to share with you my truth, share with you the truth about me and the grief that I'm in with the loss of Sacha. Um, the YouTube and the video blogs that I've been doing excerpts from the last 2 years and from my masterclasses that I do, and they are extremely valuable. They don't lose their vibration at all. So if you feel the need for a little bit more support in your human journey here, and you want to tap into your energetic team and cosmic team and the magic that is within you, then I urge you to pop on over to my YouTube channel, which the link is in my bio, Quantum Living with Vicki Wallace, and my blog, which is on my website, vickywallace.net, and our frequency. But today is all about Sacha and my year that I've had with journeying our new version of family. Sacha's in our energy field. She's sitting beside me. She liked to come up and hug me from behind and wrap her arms around me. And for some of you, should know that where it was always a bit tentative because she'd bite us somewhere. I was so horrified. I thought it was only me she bit. But no, she bit everybody. My Sash, ever the joyful child. I have a handprint that she did for her and Natasha. They painted their hands and put it on a canvas for me, so it's in my meditation room now. And I place my hand over her hand, and I feel the vibration of her, and then it comes into my heart. Or I scoop her up when I turn into my energy form, and then I have this beautiful image of Sacha and I cuddling. And then there's this really neat photo of Sacha in the cadets. She's doing this, and I know when Sacha's around, she goes like this, and then I feel her, and I just absorb into her field of light that's around me, and then I can intuitively hear what she's saying, but more than anything, I just sort of feel her around. My birthday was the first birthday that we had. Mine's Halloween. Surprise, surprise, I'm a witch. Halloween is also around the Day of the Dead, as well as the Celtic traditions of the veil of the afterlife being so close. So she was really strong. Like I could feel, I could touch her in the space, and like she'd come in and she'd just like look me in the face. I could feel her there. Just wanted to physically hug her. And so the grief for us over our birthdays, most Bruce was the 15th of November, so then we transitioned quickly into his loss of not having Sacha for his birthday. And then we have Natasha's on the 22nd of December, which we've just had. And Natasha just cried and cried. And she felt Sacha as the toddler. It's when they were the closest. Natasha, as far as Natasha was concerned, I had Sacha for her. I had Sacha at home. I chose to have a home birth, and everything went well. I made an effort prior birth to make sure that things were going well. And if they weren't, it was going to be in the ambulance around the block and come home again. Obviously, if something was a bit different, then it would have been taken out of my hands. But Sacha was born at home. She was born in the afternoon, and she was massive, which she always hated me saying that. She's like, oh, don't say that. But anyway, so one of the first people to hold her was Natasha, she cut Sacha's cord and she held her. She had her baby. Everywhere Natasha went, Sacha went. Natasha went, ugh, why did we name them so close? Because Bruce and I couldn't agree on another name. So Sacha it was. But they were always together. Our other family that the kids grew up with, Trish, who has passed a few years ago, Anna, Luke and Dylan. Dylan and Sacha were like two peas in a pod. So whenever Dee's around now, it's like a double whammy of grief because they were always together too. When Sacha was in ICU in India and we were there, before we got there, Natasha and I knew that Trish was with her. When we got there, I could see Trish's light in the room with her, just hovering over her, making sure she stayed in her body, just making sure she stayed there long enough for us to get there. And then she passed. And Natasha's an anchor, so Natasha had she didn't want to do it. Trish's spirit was leaving her body. See her body just change. And just the fascination of this is our body suit to have a human experience, and our spirit is eternal. Her spirit left her body, and the sigh, the room filled up with just immense love and light. And Trisha's spirit just scooped her up and took her through. Natasha is the gateway to the afterlife. I just try and express this for Natasha. My dad died probably 20 years ago, so he can't come to this dimension as spirit realm anymore, so he was in the afterlife, but he was keeping Natasha really strong, and she just kept saying no, and tried to fight her. It's all right, it's my time, let me go. And we have Bruce, Natasha, Sacha and I have dragons as our companions, and Sacha's dragon is Palermo, and transitioning through Palermo wanted to go, and Sacha said no, you have to go back, aiming at you. At the moment Sacha was in transition through to the spirit, it was just like lightning speed. The love that was in the room, it's just this beautiful soft blanket of calm that was over us all. This golden light just whizzed everywhere so fast, just visiting everybody. And these stories that people have said that night she came to them and visited them in their dreams, and they all have a different experience. It's all their own. My energetic team has mermaids, and Clelio is Sacha's mermaid. And so with you friends watching this, you're playing mermaids with Sacha in the ocean, there you go. Be open to feel the vibration of Clelio, who's very much like Sacha. She's very strong, and if you're in her warp, look out. There was a story I'd tell when the kids were little. If Natasha hit you or did something, it was probably an accident, and you'll be fine. but if Sacha hit you, I'd start running because there's probably more coming. She was always knowing, and she, if you did her wrong, you're in trouble. Which is why she was so feisty and forceful for her leadership and cadets with her recruits and the people she was there with. If they were getting bullied or unheard or some mistreatment happening, she was there very loud and very clear, and also supporting them in their way. Like, she would make sure that it was put right, but she would also support the person be more and give them what they needed so that they could speak up, that they could learn and know that it's okay to speak. And yeah, so Clelio, her mermaid. Um, Obviously, we knew things were not right in India because I was on the phone with Sacha and hearing what she was going through. And she met some amazing people from the other side of the world, and we're lucky enough to have had some of her cadet friends that she was on tour with that were amazing, to send us their images. So we have images of her with these other cadets. We have images of her laughing and having fun. And so it's not all of the trauma that we know. We know she had some. We know that she met lifelong friends there. And world, Sasha was always so embarrassed by Natasha and I and our beings, but there were times when she would be away and she got sick. She got bullied a lot, and she was bullied once when her and a few of her team were down in Christchurch. And so Sasha went to bed early, and she just had no support from anyone. So Sasha went to bed early, and she felt Palermo, and she'd curled up around her. And when I was speaking to her on the phone, she said I could feel her, and I felt safe. So every now and then, when Sacha was sick, she would tune into her beings and let them heal her, because they're magical and they have properties that are, you, if you are open to them, you can, they are walking alongside you. You can tap into all these other layers of frequency as helping you be more of you, helping you to be more and to navigate your human life. And so, yeah, Sacha, privately, she did tap into her beings, her pixie, her pixie that is tattooed onto Natasha's shoulder. The reason Natasha got tattoos, the reason they did it was because Sacha wanted a tattoo, and unfortunately, like there's many that don't live past 18, and as a parent, 18 in New Zealand, it's like when you're legal to do things and sign for yourself without your parents' permission. So she was going to go skydiving. She was getting a tattoo, and she was probably going to go and jump off a bungee jump too, because that's what Sacha did. But unfortunately, she didn't get to have her 18th year. She was only a month into it. But she'd been to the tattoo place, and she'd booked the appointment to talk to them about her tattoo, which was going to be a lavender, and her friend Sana was going to have her lavender. And I found the drawing that Sacha had done, and she'd taken it to India with her. And when we got home and I was unpacking her bags, I knew she had it, and I couldn't find it anywhere. It took me days to go through everything numerous times to try and find this piece of paper that she'd shown me before she left. And she was so proud of the pictures, and saved this lavender that Bruce got tattooed on his forearm. The artist was neat, really loving, and the studio were great. When Bruce left, I came in and Natasha got hers done. And the tattooist couldn't get the stencil to work on Natasha's arm. It wouldn't transfer. So he had to do it freehand, which is all in the plan of Pixie. And so he free drew it with looking at the image that Natasha had chosen, and we changed the Pixie slightly to have hair like Sacha and sort of a similar face to Sacha and eyes, and the blue dress. There's a few different changes. It wasn't obviously Sacha because that would look a bit creepy as Pixie, but to have Sacha on her, it was the Pixie. And the reason we're talking about the Pixie is because when Sacha was younger and she wanted all these earrings up her ear and a cartilage earring, and I'd said no. She was probably about 14 maybe, and I was like, no, you're not getting it done because there's pressure points all over our body, and there's they shouldn't have holes through them. And one of them was there. So I said no. And of course, that would have been another thing that she got when she was 18. So this pixie comes through. Sacha's on the bed and she's wanting all these piercings. And she storms off to her room, and these little row of pixies walk off after her, really angry with their spikes. And then this one comes back, and Natasha picks her up, and she's like laughing, but also holding herself back because this pixie's telling her off and telling me off because I wouldn't let Sacha get these piercings. And Sacha's in tears because she hasn't got her piercings and she's wanting them. Over the years, she gets more piercings, of course, because she's Sacha and she eventually gets her way. But she's a little bit older. And yeah, so that's the tattoo that meant a lot to Natasha. And I couldn't make up my mind, and I'm not one for tattoos, so I don't need Sacha's on me to be with her. It just seems false. And there's a few people that wanted her name and her the day she died, and I was not going to allow that at all, because as someone grieving a child, you don't want your child's name on someone else's body, let alone the day that she died. Why would you remember that? You remember her birthday, which is the 27th of December, and nothing else. And so they eventually heard me and they didn't get it done. But these are the things that I have to go through. With other people, they mean well, but when you are the one that's lost, is your child, and she's not to be anyone's token on their arm. It just stabs you again, and you just fall straight back into just everything about that process of you're brought straight back to the trauma of what you went through at that time, and you've got to relive it again. And it's a bit like when I've gifted her things to certain people, and each time I gift a piece of Sacha out there, I go through a grieving period and I shut down for the next day, and I just close off. My coping mechanism seems to have been getting pictures framed. So the people at the framing shop are familiar with me. Each day that I have, I come into here and I place my hand on the handprint that Sacha did, and I absorb into her frequency, and I put my hand on my heart, or I cup them like the picture that she had taken at the cadets, where she's been cheeky. And it takes me a long time to get into my spirit self, where I'm not angry, or I'm not hurt, or I'm not lost, or I'm not going through mother's guilt of all the things I should have done and I didn't do, and all the things I've said or she said, and we can't ever change. And I know that in creative energy, that's gone. It's only in the ego mind that those words stay, and it's not in the truth. It's just ego that's telling me that. But still, the story is loud, and it takes me a long time to calm down. And to do that, I use manuka oil on the soles of my feet. I have my crystals. I have her energy, and then it's just finding the breath in my body long enough so that I shut up my head, and I can be transcendent and feel more with my team that it's not my ego speaking and my mind speaking, the story speaking. It's Sacha's energy. It is my Nahika, my energy, and my team. And then they'll come through and do a healing. Metatron does that for me. Archangel Michael, he embodied his golden sword into me a few years ago, so I already have that to tap into for its strength, and I feel it down my spinal column, skeletal system. So I'm a little bit lost for some reason where I'm going with this. So I can feel visions changing and happening, whether it's other people in the house that are finding it hard because I'm talking and transmitting, and Natasha always gets activated when I do my transmissions, and sometimes it's not welcomed, so she has to go and shut down. Bruce, Natasha and I, we drifted apart a lot because we don't know how to express ourselves. We're still just numb by the grief, and when we see Sacha's pictures some days, it's like we still can't believe she's not going to walk through the door because it happened so suddenly. I came up with the idea really early on to get a live picture frame. So we've loaded the pictures that her friends have sent through. The cadets, a couple of cadets that were on tour with her have sent pictures through. So we have really lovely ones of Sacha being funny and dancing and having joy, which is just so valuable to me, knowing actually what was going on behind the scenes of her being upset and sad and in so much pain, to also see her doing her best like she did, and trying to enjoy her time in India.